Ever feel like you've tried everything to manage your weight, your blood sugar, or just to feel better in your body, and nothing quite clicks? Well, today might be a game changer. I just got my shipment of compounded Terzapatide, and we're unboxing it right now. This is No Nonsense Wellness, where we talk all things GLP-1 wellness. So GLP-1s include Tirzepatide, semaglutide, Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, Zepbound, retatrutide, liraglutide, CagriSema, and I'm sure there's a ton more that I haven't listed, but you get the idea. In this video, I am going to be unboxing my brand new shipment of compounded Tirzepatide from Mochi. I thought maybe some people were interested and they might want to jump on the compounded Tirzepatide bandwagon over the next month or so. So I just wanted to show you from my personal experience what it looks like. And I also want to say that I am not a doctor or a healthcare practitioner at all. This is only my personal experience. So definitely the first thing you want to do is contact your own healthcare provider. And then if you wanted to contact Mochi, they would also put you in touch with a healthcare provider that they're associated with. All right, let's get into it. So before we open this up, let's talk about why I'm even here. For much of my life, I have struggled with being overweight, but for even longer than that, I've struggled with joint pain, rosacea, basically conditions that feel like they may be linked to an autoimmune condition, even though I wasn't ever diagnosed with an autoimmune problem. And then about a year ago, I was diagnosed with prediabetes, just barely, but I went over the edge into pre-diabetic, and I had high cholesterol. So I knew that I had to do something. So last February, I started name brand Zepbound. And then because of some changes after I'd lost quite a bit of weight, I switched to compounded Terzapatide. So the same active ingredient as is in Zepbound. And then a lot of the compounding companies will now add extra things to it. And this medication basically has just given me the extra boost that I needed. I would very frequently try to do a different diet. Very frequently. I think you guys have probably been there, always trying something new to really get a handle on my health. And then I would also work out as much as I could, keeping in mind that my joint pain was getting worse and worse. So it's not like I was any stranger to trying to make healthy choices, but the medication is what really gave me the boost that I needed, and it helped my joint pain immensely. So I was able to start walking and then adding in some more exercise. And today I went out for my very first session of getting ready for a marathon. I'm not going to call it training because it was more gentle than that, but we're starting the process to run a marathon in a year. But when I say run, it's very slow. Like no, don't think of running. Think of very slowly moving 26.2 miles. That is my goal for a year from now. Tirzepatide was something that was originally being used for diabetes management under the name brand Mounjaro, and then it was approved as Zepbound for weight management. But since then, they have actually recently approved it for sleep apnea, and they're finding that it's really helpful for a lot of things. I would love to know about whether it's being studied for autoimmune conditions, because it's about the same price, actually a little more affordable than like my name brand rosacea medication, which, by the way, I do not use a name brand medication for my rosacea. I also use a compounded skin cream because the name brand is very expensive. Why are we using compounded medications? They may be more accessible for a lot of people, and they're also more flexible. The company that I use, Mochi, actually has dosages that are sort of in between dosages. So maybe you're using the 10 auto-injector, and then the next jump up is a 12.5. You don't want to go up that high that fast. So maybe you want something in the middle. A compounded medication can handle that for you. That's probably a lot more practical when either you're just starting, going up to 2.5 and you want something less strong, or going from 2.5 to 5, because a lot of people have talked about how hard it is to jump up that initial jump from 2.5 to 5, because you're essentially doubling the medication in your system. And I remember it being a very intense jump for me. And I personally was really scared of the side effects, but I was okay. And again, just remember, this is all just my personal journey. Like, this is not medical advice. You would always want to talk to your medical provider. Okay, so let's pop this bad boy open and see what's in it. All right, we already broke off the sticker for shipping. And then, all right. So it's really nicely packaged. Mochi started using, I believe it's called Equita, the pharmacy that I think they may have some ownership interest in. So everything has come a lot prettier than it has in the past. And I believe that this is the thermos that actually holds the medication. Comes with some syringes. Again, this little envelope is a higher quality envelope for storage. And then with that comes alcohol prep pads. Usually when I am doing my shots, I use 2 prep pads. So I use one for my skin. And then, sorry, I'm gesturing down here to my belly because that's where I give myself an injection every time. And then I use one for the top of the vial. And I'm going to show you the needles because I am a needle phobe. I think it just feels really good for someone who's an absolute starter like me to see from the beginning, what do the needles look like? So this end that you pop off has the plunger and this end has the actual needle. All right. And if you are a needle phobe, I do recommend that you spend some time just holding it, feeling comfortable, take off the needle. They give you extras, so you should be able to just dispose of it in a sharps container, but just make sure that you feel really comfortable. It took me at least 6 injections, probably more like 10, before I could kind of do it on my own. I'm not good at it. It's not pretty, but I don't have to get my husband to do it for me anymore. So that's a good thing. Then over here, they've given us more needles packaged differently. And another needle. Okay. I don't know why they are packaged sort of in these. Another needle. Okay. So that's all the needles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. So this is supposed to be 4 weeks times 3. So 12 injections, 12 doses. So they gave us 14 needle and then another 10 alcohol pads. So in my opinion, that's not really enough. 1, I just like the extra needles. 2, not everyone, but some people sort of do some funky things with dosings. You'll see on other YouTube channel people talking about that. I think I would like to see more needles and more alcohol pads. So if you do a shipment from Mochi, what I have done is I went ahead and went on Amazon and I bought diabetic insulin injection needles and alcohol pads. I'm not really worried, but that's what you could do. Again, talk to your healthcare provider. And then this is the moment of truth. So I love this packaging. So it came in this little thermos. All right. Wow. Okay. So wow. All right. So it's still cool. We had some shipping issues that I will discuss, but it still came cool. And we've got 3 vials in here. And then there's like, oh, okay. So these are the little cooling rods. Wow. It feels very space age. So let me take out a vial and show you what it looks like up close. So they're not the biggest vials. And then they have niacinamide added to them, 1 milligram per dose. And they have a lid on them, so keeps it sanitary. And then I'm going to put this back in the thermos because I love this so much. And I'm wondering, like, can I just use this for a free water bottle? I think so. I think I will do that. For right now, this is how I'm going to store it in my fridge because previously I would store my pens, my auto injectors, and my vials down in one of the vegetable drawers, and it took up the entire drawer. So now I can just put this in the door of the fridge and I know it's safe. So that's great. And then the documentation. So they give you, and again, remember, you're meeting with a healthcare provider first, but they give you quite a long list of documentation. So I love it. That's everything. And then the box has a QR code on it to scan it for further instructions. So I am super happy with this. I know that in the past, Mochi has used Red Rocks and Hallandale, and I believe all of our shipments have been from Red Rocks, and I've had nothing bad to say about them. But I love this, and I mostly love the thermos. And again, I just have to reiterate that I feel a lot of comfort from having those extra syringes and alcohol pads because one, you can't use too much alcohol to clean. That's always a good feeling. And then two, because I'm a needle phobe, I just need the additional like emotional comfort of having extra needles on hand in case I just can't do it or get freaked out or whatever. So those are my recommendations. Again, talk to your doctor. If you, like me, are a needle phobe, I just have to say one more thing. The auto-injector, I feel, especially as I lose fat around my midsection, because that is my preferred injection spot, I feel that when I have to use an auto-injector, it feels kind of barbaric, like it's just like slamming the needle in. And when I am using a diabetic needle to inject in my tummy, I'm able, well, one, both times I pinch the excess fat and feels like it's a smaller needle. I don't know if it is, but somehow it is just not, it's not such a strong pinch feel. So if you are a needle phobe, just remember this is less painful for me than the auto injector. Not that any of it is terribly painful. It's not. But if pain is what's scaring you, it's less painful. If part of it is pain and part of it is just like a weird needle phobia, that's what I have. Just doing it over and over and getting comfortable with the needle really helps. You just have to desensitize yourself. But y'all, if I can start doing my own injections, still I'm not great at it, but I can do it. I promise you that you can too. I am like really bad with needles and I've been able to do it and I'm shocking myself. So that is the unboxing of my compounded Terzapatide shipment. It might seem like just a box and some vials, but for me and for millions of other people whose lives have been greatly improved by Zepbound, Mounjaro, semaglutide, Ozempic, Wegovy, etc., these compounded shipments are really a lifeline for us. I was really happy to receive it, and it's fun to see the packaging, and it's really a big step towards longevity and health span, not to mention weight management, cholesterol management, more exercise, healthier movement, healthier lifestyle, all that great stuff. But I'm just really pumped to do it. I'm excited to receive this 3-month supply and to share updates with all of you. So if you have tried compounded Tirzepatide or any other compounded medication, please drop a comment about your experience. People are looking for good compounded Tirzepatide resources, of course, from 503A or 503B certified pharmacies. So I think people are always looking for resources, and please share yours below, as well as any experiences that you have had. Especially if you, like me, are needle phobic, because that was my biggest hurdle. And I think people just want to hear that they can overcome that. It feels really overwhelming. So if you're in this boat with me where you're scared of needles, it's going to be okay. I promise. I would have not believed it. But you too can learn to give yourself shots. It's crazy. It's crazy. Thank you so much for watching. And if you've made it this far, please remember to take care of yourself because you deserve it. Thanks for being here. Bye.